From stories across the globe to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Sharifa Tahir.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Lakshita Edrisinghe. We start off by taking a look at the headlines for tonight.
The new army headquarters declared open. Presidential candidate of the New Democratic Front, Sajid Premadasa, says no room will be left for racism or religious extremism. False information found circulating on social media regarding the incident at the Rupavahini Corporation. The world's 14th richest individual prepares to enter the US presidential race.
We move on to those and other stories in detail now. President Maithripala Sirisena says the dedication of the security units of this country in ensuring national and regional security is praiseworthy. The president made these comments joining the inauguration ceremony of the newly constructed army headquarters at Akureguda in Palavatta today. The president, upon arrival at the newly constructed army headquarters, was welcomed by Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva amidst a gun salute and guard of honor. 53.3 billion rupees has been estimated for the construction of the Army, Navy and Air Force headquarters complex, which has been constructed in a land area of 77 acres. The section that was declared open today was the 10-story Army headquarters. This project is referred to as the largest building project launched in Sri Lanka so far. The new army headquarters has been constructed with modern technological and security surveillances. As the various offices of the army spread across various areas will be housed within this building, the endeavour will save 50 million rupees per month for the government. The awarding of the Seva Abhimani service certificates and medals also took place under the patronage of the President. Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva presented a special souvenir to the President, whilst a commemorative stamp and first day cover was also issued. State Minister of Defence Ruwan Wijewardene and the commanders of the Tri-Forces, security personnel and a large group of guests were in attendance. President Maithripala Sirisena said when looking back at the past 5 years, one significant requirement was a headquarters complex for the Tri-Forces, especially the Army, as the previous location at Galface was given out for a hotel complex. The President noted over the past 7 to 8 years, the Army had occupied a number of office spaces belonging to the public and the private sector. Thereby, the government incurred an expenditure of over 42 million rupees in rent payments monthly. The President said the Sri Lanka Army, Navy and Air Force over the past 7 decades emerged as the most excellent armed forces in the world. The Tri-Forces contributed with immense sacrifices to ensure national security and the unity and the territorial integrity of the country. He added the dedication and efforts on the part of the police and the Tri-Forces in ensuring national and regional security is highly praiseworthy. The President concluded saying, as he is to step down from the presidency in 8 days' time, he would like to extend his heartfelt gratitude to all who extended their cooperation over the past 5 years, including the defense secretaries, the commanders of the Tri-Forces and the IGP.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe points out, in order to secure the security of the country and individual freedoms, the present mechanism needs to be taken forward unhindered. Speaking at a gathering of university lecturers held at the Cinnamon Lakeside, the Premier stated in order to preserve the achieved democracy and freedom, it is necessary to vote Sajid Premadasa to the presidency at the forthcoming presidential election. Responding to a question raised on as to who will be the Prime Minister in the government after the 17th of November, the Premier explained the constitutional provisions regarding the same.
මේකට ඇත්තටම අපිට පැහැදිලි උත්තරයක් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
විශ්වාස භංග යෝජනාවක් සම්මත කරොත්
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe explained if a no confidence motion against the Prime Minister is passed in Parliament, the Prime Minister can be removed. If the Prime Minister has the confidence of the Parliament, he can continue until the full term of the Parliament is complete. The post falls vacant once the election results are announced. Thereafter, the parliamentarian who commands the majority trust of Parliament becomes the Prime Minister. The Premier noted during the 52 days there were 2 court rulings in this regard and they need to act upon those rulings. He noted the United National Party enjoys the majority in the House. He added parliamentary sessions cannot be ended upon the discretion of the executive.
False information has been observed circulating on social media regarding the incident that took place in the premises of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation last evening. It needs to be emphasized, the incident was a violation of media ethics. A special discussion on the Millennium Challenge Corporation agreement was recorded at the Ministry of Finance yesterday. The discussion was conducted with the participation of Minister of Finance Mangala Samaraveera. In response to a complaint made by a particular group defining the discussion as a mud-singing campaign that causes prejudice to a particular party, a program monitoring team arrived at the premises of Rupavahini. They inspected the entire program, however found no content alleged to the complaint. Meanwhile, an issue had arisen in determining the identity of the program monitoring officers who arrived at the premises. When queried from the officials of the Elections Commission, it was said that such a team has not been sent. A delay occurred in establishing the identity of the monitoring officers, and after the arrival of Chairman of the Elections Commission, the issue was resolved. On social media, various contradictory and distorted statements were seen circulating regarding this incident. This is a breach of media ethics. Nevertheless, the program in question that came under investigation was telecast on Rupavahini at 7 p.m. today. Minister Mangala Samaraveera explained the Millennium Challenge Corporation, or MCC, is a bilateral U.S. foreign and aid funding institute established by the Congress of the United States. He added the projects detailed in the agreement have been selected and will be selected by the government of Sri Lanka.
Now, at a media briefing held today, views were expressed on the incident that occurred in the premises of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation last evening. Attorney at Law Shiral Laktilaka, expressing his views, said the Elections Commission has sufficient evidence before it. However, they are not taking a decision. He regards the incident as highly serious. He added the matter may have to be taken up in court.
තිබියදී කොමිෂන් සභාව මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් තීන්දුවක් ගන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක බරපතල නොසලකා හැරීමක් හැටියට තමයි අපි විශ්වාස කරන්නේ. ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් අධිකරණයට පවා කරුණු දැන්වීමට අපි කටයුතු කරනවායි කියලා අපි කියන්න කැමතියි. උපැන්න සංස්ථාවේ ඊයේ
Convener of the movement Journalists for Democracy, Saman Vagarachi, pointed out the program in question recorded the comments made by Minister Mangala Samaraveera on the Millennium Challenge Corporation agreement. He noted Minister Mangala Samaraveera, in his capacity as Minister of Finance, has the right to voice a statement in this regard. He pointed out a group paying no adherence to media ethics had forcibly entered the main control room of Rupavahini, and it is then that the issue arose. He added no one is allowed to enter the main control room without permission. He further explained the Millennium Challenge agreement is a government decision and it will be taken up for discussion when the Cabinet of Ministers convenes next week. He added since the opposition is spreading various distorted views on the Millennium Challenge Corporation agreement, the government has the right to issue clarification to the public. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Elections Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, speaking at a media briefing held at the Elections Commission today, explained on the procedure of voting at the forthcoming presidential election. Speaking at a media briefing held at the Elections Secretariat, the chairman of the Elections Commission said as per the Presidential Election Act, when voting, voters can either mark a cross or enter the digit 1. If the first preference is marked by entering digit 1, then the voter is able to state the second and third preferences by entering digit 2 and digit 3. However, if cross is marked, preferences are not allowed. He further stated a minor survey was carried out on the ballot papers of the 2015 presidential election. It was noted only a very few voters had marked preferences. Therefore, the chairman of the Elections Commission advises voters to mark preferences only if they wish to. Otherwise, just enter digit 1. If voters are unsure of entering digit 1, they can go ahead and mark the cross only, as marking a cross on the ballot paper is the most familiar way of voting for many voters. He observes when voters make a mistake on their ballot paper, they tend to scratch out the mistake, resulting in an invalid vote being cast. He notes if an error occurs inadvertently, voters are entitled to request for a new ballot paper. For example, if the ballot paper tears when entering it into the ballot box, the voter can request for a new ballot paper. However, voters are discouraged from causing inconvenience to the superintendent at the polling booth by requesting for a new ballot paper, saying that by mistake they voted for the wrong candidate.
Presidential candidate of the New Democratic Front, Sajid Premadasa, says during his presidential term, he will leave no room for any sort of racism or religious extremism. Addressing a rally held at the public grounds at Mannar today, he said he intends to create a civilized motherland. Presidential candidate of the New Democratic Front, Sajid Premadasa, says he will implement 5 massive programs in the 5 divisional secretariat zones of the Mannar district. He added across all divisional secretariats in the island, industrial towns will be established. Foreign direct investments from India, Cambodia, Bangladesh and Vietnam will be directed towards these divisional secretariat zones. He further stated in every divisional secretariat zone, modern technological colleges will be established to enhance computer literacy and knowledge in information technology. He also emphasized the need to launch digital enterprises in the Mannar district as part of the digital technological revolution.
ඉතාමත්ම සතුටින් ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. හැම ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම් බල ප්‍රදේශයකම නවීන තාක්ෂණ විද්‍යාලයක් හරහා නැනෝ තාක්ෂණය, ජීව තාක්ෂණය, තොරතුරු තාක්ෂණය, පරිගණක විද්‍යාව, ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂා දැනුම, සාක්ෂරතාවය ඉහළම මට්ටමකට ගෙන එන්නට ඒ තාක්ෂණ විද්‍යාල හරහා නොමිලේ අධ්‍යාපනය ලබා දීලා එයින් සමත් වෙන දූ දරුවන්ට ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම් කොට්ටාස පහේ ඒ යෞවනයන්ට තොරතුරු තාක්ෂණ උද්‍යාන පහක් ස්ථාපනය කරලා डिजिटल ताक्षणे विप्लवे क्रियात्मक करන්නට අලුත් ඩිජිටල් ව්‍යාපාර මේ මන්නාරම් දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම් කොට්ටාසයක් පාසා ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්නට නව තාක්ෂණ විද්‍යාල 5ක් මේ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම් කොට්ටාස 5ට සහ නව තාක්ෂණ උද්‍යාන 5ක් මේ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම් කොට්ටාස 5ට ලබා දෙමින් මේ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ මුළු මහත් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ යොවුන් පරපුරට වෙන කිසිම දවසක නොලැබුණු ඓතිහාසික ශක්තියක් අපි ලබා දෙනවායි කියලා මේ අවස්ථාවේ प्रकाश करें।
Presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa also visited the Mannar Bishop's house and had a cordial discussion with Bishop Reverend Manuel Fernando. The bishop was enlightened on the principles of presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa's manifesto, and Reverend Manuel Fernando stated he gives his blessings for the future work plan of Sajid Premadasa. Another rally in support of the victory of Sajid Premadasa was held in Kilinochchi today.
Presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Gotabaya Rajapaksa says he has put forward an economic plan centered on human resources. He made these comments joining in a rally held in the Ratnapura area yesterday. Presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Gotabaya Rajapaksa said they are a group that always accepted challenges and surmounted challenges. He says they changed the political culture. He added his party speaks of his future program and what they can accomplish in the future. He further said on social media his policies are being distorted and attempts are being made to mislead the voters. However, he notes the present-day voters are intelligent, so he believes they will not be deceived. He also said regardless of political party involvement, if there is an individual who puts forward policies that are agreeable, he believes that individual should be supported. He noted yesterday an incident took place and he stated the law needs to be enforced against the wrongdoers as that is the correct thing to do. He says he does not approve such actions. He assured to ensure the implementation of the law under the future government he hopes to form. Commenting on his manifesto, he said he has put forward a people-centric program that will eradicate poverty and create an environment in which all sections of society can live well. He said he has put forward his economic plan focusing on human resources and to empower the people.
ජනතා හිතවාදී අපේ සමාජයේ ඉන්න සෑම ජන කොටසක්ම හොඳින් ජීවත් වෙන්නට පුළුවන් වෙන දුප්පත්කම නැති කරන නැති පරතරය නැති කරන වැඩපිළිවෙලක් අපේ වැඩපිළිවෙල අනුව අපි ජනතාව බලවත් කිරීම තමයි මානව සම්පත මූලික කරගෙන අපේ ආර්ථික සැලැස්ම අපි ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තිබෙනවා.
Another rally organized by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held in the Kegol area.
Presidential candidate of the National People's Power, Anura Kumara Disanayake, says after his victory, he will take steps to create a secure country for women. He expressed these views participating in a rally held in the Ambalantoda town yesterday. Presidential candidate of the National People's Power, Anura Kumara Disanayake, said he is thankful that the topic on sanitary towels for women was brought up on the political platforms. He notes only around 30% of women use clean towels, whilst remaining 70% are exposed to infection. This is a social issue. He points out as a first step, these items need to be exempted from tax. He notes the women need to be stakeholders in the development of the country. He called on the voters to take the decisive decision to change the two-party political system that has prevailed for 71 years.
The National Building Research Organization states the unexpected air pollution level experienced in Sri Lanka has cleared today. Daily data shown in the Air Pollution Quality Index recorded by the Central Environment Authority from the Battaramulla and Kandy town indicated a considerable rise in pollution levels. However, the Central Environment Authority states the situation will not result in serious health issues, although individuals whose respiratory systems are sensitive to changes in the environment may experience slight discomfort. A press briefing in this regard was held in Colombo today.
Air quality index values, the levels have gone sometime up to more than 150, but with the time in today morning, the levels are came back to normal level about 50 to 60 levels. This is mainly depend on the due to the meteorological condition of the area, our region, as well as within the country. We are looking in closely whether this thing happen again. And not only the Sri Lanka but surrounding areas in the region, now we are in safe level at the normal condition we have observed in Colombo.
This is a very similar situation in California, where I come from, where we have lots of wildfires. So when a wildfire happens, we don't blame the wildfire, we just have to deal with it, protect the public health. So let's get over where it's coming from, whether it's India or not, and try to deal with this situation.
We experience respiratory diseases during this season. Especially, not the diseases, but the respiratory condition is getting worse, especially among the people with respiratory illnesses, especially asthma, other respiratory illness, chronic illnesses are suffered, and people with cardiac problems. They will get some exacerbations during this period. And also the infants, children and pregnant ladies, they are more prone to get exacerbations or some respiratory symptoms during this period. We are advising the people to use masks. The mask should be the self-made mask or something can buy in the market for a very low cost. And also they can stop making polluted like burning or some activities making dust. So that will help us to reduce prevent the air pollution further. And the smoking. Smoking is also a contributor for the smoke or the particles in the air.
Parliamentarian Mujibur Rahman says the Tamil National Alliance has extended its support to presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa without laying down any condition or putting forward any pact. The MP expressed these views joining in the debate on the adjournment of Parliament proposed by parliamentarian Bandalu Gunawardena yesterday. Parliamentarian Mujibur Rahman said, be it various political organizations representing the North and the East political parties, presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa has not agreed to or approved any condition laid down by them. He noted the leader of the Tamil National Alliance, parliamentarian R. Sambandhan, over the past 4.5 years emphasized in Parliament that the Tamil community needs to win the confidence of the Sinhalese and that confidence will lead to a political solution to the national issue. MP Rahman shot back saying, when MP Sambandhan hoisted the national flag, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna took into its fold Bharataraja Perumal, who hoisted the Elam flag. Perumal now appears on the platform of the SLPP. MP Rahman also noted presidential candidate Hizbullah, when releasing his manifesto, had called on his supporters to mark the second preference for Gotabaya Rajapaksa. He pointed out this is the Hizbullah who signed the Kathankudi agreement with Zahran, and now he is on the political platform of Gotabaya Rajapaksa. He concluded those who spread racism, suspicion, mistrust and strife before bombs began to explode and after bombs exploded are on the platform of Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Upon the request of the Prime Minister and in accordance with Standing Order number 16, a special session of the Parliament has been convened at 11:30 a.m. next Monday. Speaker Karuja Surya calls on all parliamentarians to attend this session.
Welcome back. In more local stories, the One Golf Tower Super Shopping Complex was declared open by President Maithripala Sirisena today. This complex is regarded as the largest shopping mall constructed in the Colombo city. This super shopping complex, which is part of the Shangri-La Group, has been designed to offer cinema facilities, beauty care, food and beverage services, leisure and recreation, shopping sprees, office spaces and residential facilities under one roof. The four-storied shopping mall consists of 200 shops. The President unveiled the commemorative plaque and conducted an observation tour of the shopping complex.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe participated as a chief guest at the prize giving of Hindu College, Colombo. Addressing the event, the Premier stated he intends to bring about a digital economy with the development of knowledge and skills over the next 5 years. Students who excelled in various areas of skills were awarded certificates and prizes by the Premier.
For the best performance. Nathan.
Now we are living in a new age, the age of technology, the age of the fourth industrial revolution, the age when knowledge is the key to success, the new knowledges. So therefore we ourselves as a country are planning now to ensure that we have a digital economy, that we have export oriented economy, And we have an economy that's a part of the fourth industrial revolution, which is based on IT, digitalization. This is where Sri Lanka has to leapfrog into. But every country must make use of its natural resources. Countries have industrialized. We have only industrialized partially. Now, are we to keep on industrializing, or are we to take the next step using our natural resources? What is the natural resource that we have? It's our people. That's the best natural resource we have. And we have to develop our education system, our knowledge and skill in this age of the digital economy. So here is a time that we can make maximum use of our knowledge. We have a good basic education system. Take one of the countries next to us, Singapore. They have some land and they have people. They don't even have water. The water has to come from Malaysia. But look how they have developed using their human skills. Look at Dubai. It's full of sand. They haven't even got any oil. But they have also developed. They have, of course, got manpower from outside into Dubai. So is Hong Kong. So why can't we do it? We have land, we have water, and we have manpower, which the other three hasn't got. So we are now to develop our knowledge and our skills. Then we are a country in the next 5 years with a high level of people who will have IT knowledge or knowledge in other fields, and people who have skills. So this changes the economy.
Of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka is now being felicitated.
Now, Sri Lanka was represented at the Tour Expo International exhibition held in Ukraine. The objective is to promote the tourism industry of the country. The 20th Tour Expo exhibition was held at Kyiv in Ukraine recently. Representatives of the tourism sector from a number of countries, including France, Russia, Germany, Italy, Sri Lanka and Ukraine, were part of the exhibition. Sri Lanka's sole representative at the exhibition was the Coco Village Hotel. It is reported the visitors paid much attention to the stall put up by Sri Lanka at the exhibition.
In the meantime, Sri Lankan Airlines now facilitates flights from Colombo, Katunayake to Toronto, Canada. The service, which came into operation yesterday, focuses on uplifting the tourism industry. Air passengers have been given the opportunity to travel between Toronto and New Delhi under a symbolic exchange pact signed between Sri Lanka Airlines and its long-term partner Air India. Under this pact, flights to Katunayake have been planned as one destination. Commercial Director of Air India, Meenakshi Malik, says tourists arrive in Sri Lanka and Sri Lankans intending to travel abroad can benefit vastly by this move. This enhanced cooperation facilitates Sri Lankans to travel between Canada and Sri Lanka via the New Delhi airport without obstructions. Tourists who could not make reservations for the entire flight now get the opportunity to make reservations at the same time. Thereby, tourists get the opportunity to join in an uninterrupted flight from the Lester B. Pearson International Airport at Toronto in Canada to the Indira Gandhi Airport at New Delhi in India. The arrangement facilitates passengers who arrive in New Delhi from Colombo to reach Toronto after 4 hours, whilst passengers arriving in New Delhi from Toronto can reach Colombo after 6 hours. Flights will operate from Toronto on Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays. Currently, Sri Lankan Airlines, together with its partners, operates flights to 130 destinations across 57 countries. CEO of Sri Lankan Airlines, Vipula Gunathilaka, observes in the upcoming tourism season, Sri Lanka will benefit vastly through the arrangement.
Meanwhile, tourist arrivals to Sri Lanka have reportedly recorded a revival following the deadly Easter Sunday attacks. The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority says the total number of international tourists' arrivals during the month of October this year was 118,743 visitors. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, Jayan Jayaratne, says it is refreshing to see arrival numbers growing since April, and the country is just around 20% behind last year's arrival rate. The arrivals are expected to increase during the November to March period, which is the peak season for Sri Lanka. The largest source markets for tourists were India, followed by China and the United Kingdom.
The Ministers of Justice participating in the Commonwealth Law Ministers Forum arrived at the Parliamentary complex this morning. They were welcomed by Parliamentary Secretary-General Dhammika Dasanayake, and they met with Speaker Karujaya Surya and held discussions on a variety of topics which included the present political climate, the implementation of the death penalty and parliamentarians switching allegiance.
We shifted over to this particular.
How many members do you have in the
ability and in emerging economy?
We also work very closely with the international community, and Sri Lanka is rated as one of the most advanced parliaments with all the facilities. And also we developed something called the parliamentary diplomacy. And the parliamentary diplomacy is what we thought was that innovation came from Sri Lanka, which was first adopted by the South Asian regional cooperation countries, and then later it has been approved by the whole the parliamentary system as something useful, because we find that when you come to relationship between two countries, what is going on is the head of state to the head of state and the foreign minister to foreign minister. Beyond that, there is no sort of close cooperation. So what we have now done is that we have started dialogue with the parliaments. We have agreement with several parliaments in the world, where we exchange members of parliament, and also where we exchange officials. So as the parliament, I always believe that we have to train more staff than the parliamentarians, because parliamentarians come for 5 years, but whereas the staff join us for 25, 30 years, so that they could give a service. We are very happy that, so it's possible to, the pledge that we have given to the people about the transparency, good governance, and all that has been given. We have 10 independent commissions. We have the Committee for Public Service, we have a Committee for Bribery and Corruption, then there is a very powerful Election Commission. You can see they are very strict, they have been very strict, so much so that the election rules are very, very strong at the moment. And then we have a Committee for Procurement, once again the area where it can be abused. Once again, there are a lot of transparency in this bill that has been now approved. So there are altogether 10 commissions. So all in all these are meant to establish good governance in the country. So this parliament has done its very best.
The Thai embassy organized the royal Katina ceremony to offer robes to the congregation of monks at the Rajaguru Sri Subhuti Mahaviharya in Waskadua today. The religious ceremony commenced with the arrival of the head of the royal Katina delegation after respects were paid before the portrait of the Thai king. Candles and incense sticks were lit before the statue of the Buddha, and the robes were offered to the congregation of monks amidst the chanting of homage to the Triple Gem. Subsequent to a speech given by the Thai royal representative, ceremonial water was poured, bringing the ceremony to a conclusion, after which the head of the delegation proceeded to leave the temple. And that's all the stories we have for you tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.